Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Koksijde for round two of the 2014-15 UCI Cyclo-Cross World Cup. Bringing you the men's race action very shortly here from this tough sandy course here in Koksijde. Already today we've had the women's race and a very popular home win from Sanne Cant, her sixth straight win of recent weeks to give her the first win for a Belgian woman here in Koksijde, and also put her up in very close contention for the World Cup overall. The new leader is Sophie de Boer of the Netherlands, who was third in Valkenburg, third here, and going into round three in Milton Keynes, we've got a lot of riders in contention for that overall. So we knew the action was going to be good next week. Anyway, it's going to be even hotter in that women's race. But the men's race is what we're looking at now. I'm Dan Jarvis, going to be bringing you all the action over the next hour or so. And you can see here it's clouded over slightly, and all of the pits starting to fill up with the mechanics. Not been too bad condition-wise, certainly not quite as summery as we had in the opening round in Valkenburg, but still pretty good for the middle of November. The wind has dropped slightly, I would say, from this morning's races, and the crowd is filling up as we would expect here in Koksijde, one of the classic venues really of the UCI Cyclo-Cross World Cup. And it's interesting that we go from such a classic venue this week to a brand new venue next week as we go to the UK for the first time ever in the UCI Cyclo-Cross World Cup and Milton Keynes. And it's almost as if the British are preempting, because we have a lot of people who have come across the channel to watch this race. Also lots of fans from the Netherlands and France, and of course from Belgium. They'll be looking for a home winner here in this men's race. I can tell you, Lars van der Haar, the winner in Valkenburg, the World Cup champion and World Cup leader, is not racing. He is not racing on doctor's advice. He woke up with a fever the other day and has withdrawn. He's hoping to be back possibly for the Super Prestige tomorrow, but it's a big ask, and so he is having to give this race a miss, and that opens the door up quite a bit for the others to gain an advantage on him in the points as we move forward to the complete first half of this World Cup season. So the rider who was second in Valkenburg, Kevin Pauwels, has a great chance to don that jersey, as too does Conor van Kessel of the Netherlands, who was on the podium behind Pauwels and van der Haar. But we have got a stacked Belgian team as well, with 15 riders, and of course heading that up is the Belgian national champion, the former world champion, and you can see his fan club there in full effect. Sven Nys will be heading up the front row. Also missing Stibar from the field, but still plenty of quality in here. Here's the 3K course. Lots of ducking in and out of the sand dunes, with some very, very tough sandy sections. Just the last little bit on the tarmac, not too much hard pack. So riders running very low pressures, around about the 23, something like that. Temperatures dropped a little bit from this morning. The wind has dropped as well, though, and pleasant rather than enjoyable cross conditions, but certainly the crowds are out in force, and we haven't seen, didn't see too many bike changes being necessary other than for mechanicals in a men's race. Here are the standings then after round one. Van der Haar with that win, but he, as I said, is not here. So it opens the door for Pauwels, Van Kessel, Van Toornen, Moysen, Van Ommingen, and all the way through Jeremy Powers with that great ride for the USA. Up there in 9th place. And Powers will start on the second row. Can he move himself up even further? Got 58 riders lining up from 17 nations. The Czech team there, featuring Simonek and Papstra. Sven Nys heading up that big Belgian contingent. A few under-23 riders in here as well, of course, because no under-23 World Cup here at Koksijde. Mathieu van der Poel with his brother in the Dutch team there. In the French team, Moret and Canal and L'Hotellerie. Marcel Wildhaber and Taramaka heading up the Swiss team, with Phil Walsleben heading up Germany. Powers, Page and Durin for the USA. A couple of Spaniards. Ian Field, the only British rider. A Japanese rider in Takanuchi. 3 Canadians. Angus Edmond from New Zealand in there as well. And a Pole, a Dutchman and a Luxembourgeois. So we have a pretty good spread of countries here. Enrico Franzoi also in there, the only Italian. Our previous winners, really, Stibar, the only man who spoiled the party there in the last 10 years. Sven Nys there with 4 wins. Niels Albert, of course, world champion here in 2012, is now retired because of a heart condition. He's now working behind the scenes. So Albert, the winner last year, having to retire before he could defend his title. And the riders starting to get into position on the start line. The rain jackets and body warmers are coming off, being handed out to the support crew. We have 2 minutes until the race starts. Wout van Aert then, and the 23 world champ on the front row. Philip Walsleben, the German national champion, runner-up in last season's World Cup, riding for BKCP Power Plus. Alongside him is Kevin Powles, second overall in the World Cup so far, second in Valkenburg. Tom Muysen, 5th in Valkenburg. Sven Nys, the legend that is Sven Nys there, Belgian national champion, former world champion, and the most successful man in recent history here. Alongside him then, Mathieu van der Poel, BKCP. Then comes the French national champion, Francis Moret. And finally there, Klaus van Toornat, 4th in Valkenburg. And we saw Sophie de Boer launching a big attack right from the start, and that set the tone for the rest of the race. So interested to see if who tries to get the whole shot here, as we set ourselves ready from the go. Oh, knee slipped to pedal there. Knee slipped to pedal, and he's back 2 or 3 rows already. So not a good start there for Big Sven. Very good start though coming out of there. Lawrence Sveek with a good start through that first corner. Oh, there's a big crash gone down. Just trying to see who that was who went down at the bottom. And it was It was Tunerts, I think, who went down, collected a few riders. Jeremy Durham was one of the riders who got caught out there, but it looked to me like Ertz went right over the handlebars. Marcel Wildhaber's had a good start there, the Swiss rider in the Scott Odlo colours, moving up round about the top 10. And not surprisingly, the Belgians up towards the front in force. Jeremy Powers, the US champion, also up there as well. But it's the under-23 world champ Tunerts right towards the front here. My apologies. Tunerts, Wout van Aert at the front there. Looking to try and find a way through. Some of the riders getting caught up by that early crash. Also a good start from David van der Poel in third spot. Valsleben's up there as well. So too is the US national champion Jeremy Powers. But it's a chance here for some of the under-23s to really mix it in with the older riders. Pauls is up there, round about 7th place. You see the first sand section causing a few problems. Sven Nys trying to pick his way through the field here. So after that problem on the start line where he slipped a pedal, Sven is starting to move up. Looks to me like he's going to be round about 15th place or thereabouts. Valsleben, though, trying to stay with Van Aert as they go through. Fabien Canal and Moret, the two Frenchmen, some way down the field there. Valsleben then heading towards the front now. Lawrence Sveek has got himself up there to 3rd place. David van der Poel in 4th. Mathieu van der Poel in 5th. And it's just a chance to, on this smoother section, just to compose himself, ready to go again and try and move up past some riders as we go through. Valsleben then leading us from Van Aert. Then comes Sveek. Then the Van der Poel brothers. Philip Valsleben, though, really applying the pressure here. Early on, Sveek just getting caught by David van der Poel, the older of the Van der Poel brothers. Sven started to make his way up through the field here. Also Michael van Turnhout moving up. Just trying to see where Pauls was. I think he's just in that group there. He is. Just behind the Telnat Fidea rider. So Pauls currently 2nd in the World Cup standings. Number 80 points for 1st place, 70 for 2nd, 65 for 3rd. And looks like Corne van Kessel is trying to mark Kevin Pauls at the moment. Those two, 2nd and 3rd overall in the World Cup standings. That corner very, very tough. Riders slowing right up there, and it's hard work. Just looking to see if anyone's going to just shoulder it and go for a sprint on foot to try and make up some places. Valsleben then leading them through from Wout van Aert. Then comes David van der Poel, Mathieu van der Poel. Then it's Lawrence Sveek, Michael van Turnhout. Then comes Tom Muisen, Thies van Ramenigen, Kevin Pauws. So the Belgians and the Dutch struggling it out, but it's a German that leads them through. Just a little look around for everyone to see who's where. Valsleben 7th at Valkenburg. And of course Van Aert, no points from Valkenburg because he was riding under 23. As too was Mathieu van der Poel. David van der Poel only finished 43rd at Valkenburg. So we could see quite a few riders seriously improving their start positions for Milton Keynes. And Nice is starting, I think, to pick off riders ahead of him. Sven Nys. Valsleben then with a long line of Belgian and Dutch riders behind him. There is Sven Nys coming up. Rob Peters is trying to stay in there. The US champion coming up there, Jeremy Powers, onto the shoulder of Marcel Wildhaber. And it's going to be a big group coming through here to complete that first lap. Valsleben, Van Aert, Van der Poel, both the Van der Poels, Sweeck, Van Amerongen, Van Turnhout, Pauws, Moisen, Van Turnhout, Earnhardt, Van Kessel, Nys, Jim Earnhardt, Rob Peters. So I think we've got all of the Belgian riders in the top 30, 31, 32. Tim Merlier is the lowest placed of the Belgians. Just to tell you, Jonathan Page, 34th, Ian Field, 35th, Enrico Franzoy, 39th, Cameron Yates from Canada, 48th place, Jeremy Duran, after that, getting caught up in that crash, he's gone through first lap in 53rd, Aaron Skula in 54th. And attack coming in here from Laurens Sweeck of the Corendon Quadro team. Again, didn't feature in Valkenburg. And it's good for Pauws that a lot of these riders who didn't feature in the opening rounds ahead, that means that they're taking points that his close challengers might otherwise take, and one of those close challenges is Tom Muysen, but Sven Nys didn't finish in the points in Valkenburg, but he is moving up now. Look at this. Now he was some way back off of the start when he slipped a pedal. He's now going to come out of this corner in 5th place. Sven Nys, the 4-time winner here. This is looking good at the moment for Big Sven. Just slotted himself up there into 6th place in the line. Sweeck, Van Aert, David van der Poel, Mathieu van der Poel and Thijs van Emmeringen are ahead there. Valsleben's in 7th place, Moisen 8th, Van Kessel in 9th, and Klaas van Turnhout is in 10th place. Kevin Pauws, who's 2nd, remember, in Valkenburg, currently in 12th position. So he's losing a little bit of a few points there to Van Kessel and to Valsleben and to Van Amerongen. They are the riders that he needs to mark in terms of the World Cup overall. Just to remind you, if you're wondering where Lars van der Haar is, he's suffering with a fever and has had to withdraw. So the jersey will change hands today. It's just waiting to see who it ends up with. As new face on the front, Mathieu van der Poel for BKCP Power Plus. Just 19 years old, Mathieu van der Poel, first year Espoir, but there's no Espoir category here. In the World Cup, there was a separate under-23 race, but those top riders all opting to ride the senior race here. And it is van der Poel who's benefiting from that. He leads from another under-23 rider, Wout van Aert. And in third place is indeed another under-23 rider, Laurens Swick. So the young guns are trying to establish themselves here. David van der Poel there, then in fourth place. In fifth place, Thies van Amerongen. And then comes Sven Nys, Corne van Kessel, Philipp Walsleben, Tom Muysen, and then Kevin Pauwels. Looking at the positions behind, see Klaus van Toorne was in there, so too coming across. Looked like the stars and stripes of Jeremy Powers, the US national champion. Wout van Aert though, of Vasquez Service, Golden Palace cycle team, leading them through. Looks like David van der Poel is coming across there to the back wheel of third place. Nys as well has moved up a spot here ahead of the Dutchman Van Amerongen. Little bit of a problem there with a slipping back wheel for Van Aert, but you can see there the big problem is if the rider in front of you has a problem on the sand, generally that slows everyone up. It's always best to hit the sand at the front. You can dictate the pace to everyone else, and if you make a mistake, chances are everybody else will get held up. So that second lap pretty rapid coming through. It looks to me like Mathieu van der Poel wants Wout van Aert to come through and share the pace. Van Aert, the junior world champ. And these two riders, (19 and 20), Van der Poel 19 and Van Aert 20 at the front. Showing pretty calm heads, and they have opened a little bit of a gap here now over Swick and Van der Poel senior, David van der Poel. Then comes the big line of riders. And it's a measure of how far US cyclocross has come that Jeremy Powers is up there amongst all of the Belgians. US cyclocross now starting to be a massive, massive power. Certainly in the women, we're seeing it, and in the men's, we're producing some really great races in the US. Very popular, I know, for riders to go over there. And the US riders not afraid to come over and mix it in Europe. Been seeing them in the juniors and the under 23s really pushing on. So through the sand again, just looking, it looks to me like Sven Nys, this is where he is picking people off coming through. Van der Poel and Van Aert through there, and David Van der Poel, I think, is going to be caught very shortly here by the chasers. They're queuing up behind. Nys just closing the door there very nicely, and Klaus van Tornout. As Mathieu van der Poel and Wout van Aert have come through, looking to see the gap of a David van der Poel. It is 12 seconds back to him. Then comes Nys, van Tornout, Sweek, Pauls, Van Ammeren, Moisen and Peters. Plenty of vocal support for the riders here. They're looking for a Belgian double if they can, with Sanakant winning in the women's with a great last lap attack. These two are trading blows though all the way around at the moment. And it looks like David van der Poel is getting reeled in here. Sven Nys leading the chase. He's going to make contact very shortly with David van der Poel, and he's taking quite a few riders with him across that gap. Sweek still in there. Nice move coming through there by Tom Moisen to pick up a couple of places. Nys is reeling in David van der Poel then. Wout van Aert and Mathieu van der Poel. Down past one of the very popular spectator areas. Really thronging with crowds here. All around the course, plenty of encouragement. And you can see the fan clubs are out in force. There's the corner that's pretty much been taken over by Sven Nys's followers. And we're going to see a line of riders coming through here with the majority of the Belgian contingent up at the front here. But these two managing to stay clear at the moment. Remember, neither of them have points already in the standings because they are under 23 riders and raced under 23 category. There is no round of the under 23 World Cup here in Koksijde, so the riders had the option to race the senior race, and it means that they will be at present taking away the 80 and the 70 points that are up for first and second, which really does make the mix a lot more interesting. I think there we just see Nys moving up past David van der Poel. Just looking to see, maybe van der Poel still holding them off actually. No, he's dropped right back in that field, so Nys now up to third place and in pursuit of the two youngsters. Klaas van Toorn moving to the front of the chase group then. As they're coming through, 3 laps completed, 6 to go.
Kijken wat de voorsprong bedraagt als ze hier aan de streep zijn voorbij gekomen met nog 6 ronden voor de boekplaats van Torno, die nu het initiatief neemt voor de wijze van de seconde. Die 12 seconden, ja inderdaad, die 12 seconden is de achterstand van Klaas van Torno.
Thanks, just your tweets coming in there. And Yuri Halevi, thanks for pointing out as well. I'm glad I got it right there. It is the Stars and Stripes, not the Stars and Bars. I have, it's been made very apparent to me that the Stars and Bars haven't had somebody racing in cyclocross since round about the American Civil War. So glad to be getting that right for you. As we go on, keep the tweets coming as we keep the action coming. It's the 2 under-23 riders holding off the season riders behind in the battle for 3rd place. Got some predictions coming through. Connor at the Velocipede, he reckons Van Aert is the man for the win today. James Garrett looking for Van Aert, Nice, and Mathieu van der Poel, his top 3 prediction. At the moment, he's got right riders, wrong order. Just seeing going through there in the top of the screen, just to show you just how much of a World Cup it is. Angus Edmund from the land of the long white cloud racing there, the New Zealander. No, it's a very big scene still in Australia and New Zealand, cyclocross now, and growing and growing in popularity. And if you're up watching us live here from Koksijde, hope you're having a good time watching the action. Oh, nice, just coming a cropper there. Just the front wheel stopped in the sand. That's allowed the others to move through past him. We saw a few riders just getting snagged up in the sand in the women's race. The line constantly changing. And of course, it moves as you ride on it, so you just can't guarantee that your wheel will track where you want it to go. But looks to me like Wout van Aert has got himself a little bit of a gap now over Mathieu van der Poel, and there's a big chase going on. This battle for 3rd place, wide open at the moment. We've still got 5.5 laps to go though, remember. As Van Aert and Van der Poel get a chance just to look across there. Wout van Aert really is putting the pressure on. He's still in the hunt there for 3rd place. Up there with Moosen. A little bit of a hairy moment there for Lawrence Sveek, and it just let Valsleben through. Under 23 world champion then with the rainbow stripes on his bike. Remember, he can't wear that jersey in a senior race because Zdenek Stibar is the senior world champion. Still on his comeback from injury and probably recovering a little bit from his honeymoon, getting married recently. Be interesting to see if Nace can get up close to Wout van Aert, what might unfold in the sprint, because a few weeks ago at the B-Post Trophy in the Koppenberg Cross, bit of controversy when Van Aert and Nace were sprinting it out, and one of Van Aert's teammates got in the way. So I think Nace would like to take it on, but I don't think Wout van Aert is going to give anyone a chance here at the moment to get close to him in a sprint. The youngster is looking very, very smooth here. Van der Poel trying to ride the sand, but I don't think he's it's really giving him much of an advantage here. Didn't seem to have any more momentum than Van Aert going through the sand. Oh, and he's having another little problem there. And again, just losing a metre or two on Klaas van Turnhout. Van Turnhout fourth in Valkenburg, and as it stands at the moment, I think he would be moving himself up into the series lead here. A fourth and a third place would be lining up for 145 points in total. 5 laps to go then. Wout van Aert leads us through. We'll look to see. It's going to be around about 6 seconds. 9 seconds, in fact, over Mathieu van der Poel. And then this little group coming through. Now he's just having a little look around, I think, to see who else is going to do something. Van Turnhout also looking for someone to do some work in this group. Rob Peters, I don't think he's going to do too much. He's the teammate of Van Aert. And just saw Powers coming through there in the second chase group in 11th place. So top 10 is Van Aert, Mathieu van der Poel, Van Turnhout, Peters, Nace, Pauwels, Moysen, Valsleben, Sweek and Van Kessel. Valsleben just launching a little attack there, I think, on the run up. And he's moved up a good 5 or 6 places there towards the front of the chase group. Wout van Aert, though, for vast good service. Golden Palace looking comfortable in the lead. Mathieu van der Poel, son of the great Adrie van der Poel. In second spot. Battle really is going on there for third place. Valsleben then it is now who takes up the pace. The German national champion, a man who's a pretty good road sprinter as well. Saw a little coming together there. And as if Sven Nys didn't have enough reason to dislike some of the Vasgoed Service Golden Palace team, he's got another one to take issue with, potentially. So the under-23 world champion looking to give Belgium a double here. Van der Poel. Just that gap going out a little bit more, I think, from previously. And this fight for third place really is going to be a big, big battle. There's still about 8 riders in that group. Wout van Aert, though, looks to me like he's pulling away. Walsleben, Van Turnhout, Peters at the head of the chase group. Mathieu van der Poel in the second spot there. The Dutch first year under-23 rider. Just looking to see when they see, some real ballerina skills there from Tom Moisen, trying to keep the balance going. Had the right leg right out behind him to counterbalance as he came down that sand dune. Interesting to see, though. I think Van Aert, another one of the smaller riders, and they do seem to just flow a little bit more smoothly over the sand. Don't dig in quite so much. We saw that with Sanakant in the women's race. Walsleben then applying the pressure in third place. Then comes Van Turnhout. Then comes Peters. As Van Aert shoulders the bike there for this run. Mathieu van der Poel still there in second place. I think he may have just pegged back a second or two. Still going to be round about the 8 or 9 second mark, I think. Walsleben leads through Klaas van Turnhout, who could be moving towards the overall leader's jersey. Walsleben would be putting himself on 113 if position stayed the same, and Van Turnhout would be on 120, so it is going to be close, I think, at the end of the standings, with these riders being somewhere down, the under-23 riders being in the mix and picking up points. So 4 laps to go for Wout van Aert. 6:56 lap there. And he's pulled out another couple of seconds over Mathieu van der Poel. Although over half a lap, Van der Poel took some time back, so it's real seesaw stuff at the moment. Then it is going to be Klaas van Turnhout and Philip Walsleben coming through for third and fourth place. And they're 33 seconds back. Then comes the group headed by Peters, and it's starting to fragment behind Peters, Moisen, and Nice, followed by Powles. So Powles is going to be sitting on 111 points at current position. So it's going to be very, very interesting, I think, how this plays out in terms of the points. The big 80 and 70 points currently going the way of Wout van Aert and Mathieu van der Poel, both of whom didn't register in the points after Valkenburg because they're under 23 riders. So throwing things wide open. And no under 23 race at Milton Keynes either. So again, it could play out interestingly for the series standings as we go forward. Wout van Aert, though, is looking very, very strong here. Hard to believe when you contrast it how relatively little experience he has against some of the riders in this field, like Sven Nys, and yet how confident he looks. Keep the tweets coming. I'm liking Nick Major's 79's suggestion that maybe the Confederacy could field a team for Richmond 2015. Would they have to ride on vintage bikes, though? That is the question. All about the youngsters, though, here in Koksijde. We had an Alpine-style course at round 1 in Valkenburg. And near summery conditions in the 20s. Slightly more like cyclo-cross weather here in Koksijde, and a classic dunes course. And it's all changed in terms of who's at the front. Wout van Aert, the under-23 world champion, riding for the Vast Good Service Palace team, currently leading this battle for third place. Wide open, you can still see in there 7 riders in contention. Then a little way back, Corne van Kessel, Bart Vellens. They can still get in there into the mix. And just to give you an update, any of the US fans on the position so far of Jeremy Powers, just round about the top 15 at the moment. Let's let you know if you're field of Marcel Wildhaber, 27th, Ian Field in 28th, Fabian Canal 31st, Jonathan Page 35th, and Enrico Franzoy is out of the race, as too, I think, are going to be a few of the others. Angus Edmund could be from New Zealand. Starting to fragment now in a big, big way, this field. Van Aert leading them through the sand section, past what I think is unofficially now Sven Nys corner. Just keeping the power flowing beautifully there, Wout van Aert. Keeping himself upright, just skipping through the sand as he goes. Mathieu van der Poel just settled there in second spot. Oh, there's been a crash out on the back of the course for Sven Nys. Caught his right brake lever there on the banner. Just all of these little interruptions to the tempo, and you need really to be a rider of Sven Nys's experience just to brush that aside. He's gone in to change the bike. I don't know if there was a problem with that brake lever. Could have just been pulled slightly, and it's dropped him back a couple of places. He comes back in behind Tom Muysen. It's just little irritations as much as anything. But nice. These little niggling problems here and there. He's still in this group though, chasing third spot. Valsleben, the German champion, heading them up the climb, followed then by Klaas van Toornat. Then comes Kevin Pauws. And Pauws is looking to put himself around about 120 points at the moment. So and put him very close to Klaas van Toornat. Those two are realistically fighting it out for the series leaders jersey at the moment. This man is not going to be taking that, but he could take the win here in Koksijde. Wout van Aert has stretched his lead now over Mathieu van der Poel. It was 12 seconds at the intermediate point, at the halfway point of that last lap. It's now going to be round about 18, maybe even a little bit more. 21 seconds the gap to Mathieu van der Poel. And we're looking to see where third place is. I think the gap's gone out even more. It was 34 at the intermediate. It's going to be closer to 44, maybe even closer to 50. As Kevin Pauws now it is, who is in pursuit, 46 seconds, and Pauws, who was second in Valkenburg, currently in third place, and this would certainly be putting him into the white leaders jersey that has been vacated by Lars van der Haar, the winner in Valkenburg, who is ill and has opted on doctor's advice not to race. A little bit of a time gap update from the support crew for Wout van Aert. As he powers on through there. Just see the great control there, how he moves over the bike just to keep the balance. And then as soon as there's an indication he's losing momentum, Wout van Aert straight off the bike, onto the shoulder with it and running, just trying to keep the speed going all the way. Pauws then clear in third, but Sven Nys is chasing him down in fourth place. Klaas van Toornat in fifth. Tom Muysen in sixth. And look at this, it's still queuing up. Any one of about 10 riders could still be challenging for a podium position here as they come through. Serious competition here. Van Aert, though, now out to 29 seconds. He's found another 8 seconds over Van der Poel. Pauws is at 45 seconds. Nys at 52. Heading up that group that's got Van Toornat, Muysen, Van Kessel, Peters, Svik, Adams, and Valsleben in it. Adams had a good round one, remember, as well. He was 8th. in Valkenburg, so he could be moving himself up in the points here. That home crowd really starting to get behind Wout van Aert. And Kevin Pauwels really attacking now in third place. Can he start to reel in Mathieu van der Poel? I think that gap is coming down. 16 seconds it was at the intermediate. They're queuing up behind though. Laurens Sweeck still well placed up there. Another one of the under 23 riders. But Van Aert manages to find the power whenever he needs to skip through past the straight there. Pauwels, I think, is closing in on Mathieu van der Poel. So if you've just joined us, this is round 2 of the UCI Cyclo-Cross World Cup, brought to you by Shimano and Beko, coming to you live from Koksijde. And at the moment we are on course for a Belgian double. Sanne Cant won the women's race earlier today. At the moment, Wout van Aert leads the men's race from Mathieu van der Poel. Then comes Kevin Pauwels, and then a long line of Belgian riders headed up by Sven Nys, the most successful racer here of recent years with 4 wins. He's going to need something very, very special if it's going to be 5 over the next few laps. Just 1 or 2 little problems for Nys earlier in this race, which has made things difficult for him. He put his bike on the banners and had to change. And just looking here, starting to pick up back markers now, is Wout van Aert. Pauwels, I think, is closing in on Van der Poel. And he's still got some way to go, but Van Aert, 2 laps to go. The crowd are banging the boards to encourage him. Just coming through, making the right-hand turn off of the tarmac. Across to the polished line there as he heads out, and Van der Poel still to come onto the finish straight. So the gap is going to be still going to be round. It's going to be just ahead, just outside of 30 seconds. If you look carefully there, you can see the riders having to run very low pressure tyres here for the sand. The straight really all about recovery. Not a chance to attack here on that straight. 36 seconds is the gap for Van der Poel. 43 the gap for Pauwels. So Pauwels has dragged back 8 seconds on Van der Poel on half a lap there. So I think we could see Pauwels maybe moving up to 2nd place. Then comes Moisen and Klaas van Toornat in 4th and 5th place. Then it's going to be Corne van Kessel, the man who was 3rd in Valkenburg. Looks like Nys just dropping back here slightly as Peters also moving through. So the Vascoud Service Golden Palace team doing well here. They've got 3 of their riders up there. Jens Adams also up in that group, just behind, of course, Wout van Aert. Van Aert just so strong through there, just glides through the sand. And he's given a masterclass right now on dune riding. Just looking back, that was another problem there for Nice. Just these, nothing major, but lots of little accumulative issues, putting him on the back foot. And he's dropping back through that group. So Sven Nys again didn't have good luck last season. I think that that bad luck is continuing to a certain extent for him in the World Cup series this year too. So Wout van Aert has gone through the split point. Be able to tell you very shortly how that gap is got. And look at this, Pauwels has overhauled Mathieu van der Poel. I've got a feeling that Mathieu van der Poel was popped here because Pauwels has just reeled him in very easily there. Now, can he stay with the Belgian? Or is he going to start to be chased down by the riders behind? Van der Poel then just sitting in. At least he gets a chance maybe for a little bit of recovery on this slick off-road section to sit on the wheel there of Pauwels. It's a question of, though, can he stay with the pace of Pauwels? Moisen, Klaus van Tonnhout heading through. Then comes Jens Adams, so he's moving up well. And behind him is Rob Peters. Then comes Corne van Kessel. Nys has been tailed off this group here. So Nys, he's now down to 13th place. Julian Taramaka, the Swiss rider, has moved up well now. For Corendon Quadro. Toenaerts has gone through in 14th place. So Aerts has moved up a few places. I think Jeremy Powers may have dropped back a few positions here on this this most recent lap. And Powers now, he's managing to lose Van der Poel. Can he start to reel in Wout van Aert? It's going to be a big ask because it's 46 seconds, the gap. And he's got a lap and a half to do it in. I think he needs Van Aert to blow up quite spectacularly. And at the moment, it doesn't look like that is going to happen. Wout van Aert is looking very calm and collected and strong. Pauwels just trying to guide his bike through the sand there. Van der Poel getting dropped there. I think we just saw British champion Ian Field going through in the opposite direction. Have to say, for British cross riders, not really any courses in the UK which give you the same kind of conditions as here. Van Aert, though, looks totally at home. Very, very comfortable now, Wout van Aert. Comes from Herentals, which is over near Antwerp. So he's a Flanders man. And we've been seeing plenty of the Lions of Flanders around the course. So I can tell you the anticipation's building now because many of the fans are starting to come back into the finish area. It's one lap to go then for the young Belgian, the under-23 world champion. Wout van Aert has one lap to go between him and what will be probably the biggest win of his career so far. because there's going to be some big scalps that he's taken on the way to this. Pauwels still in second place. Van der Poel in third. 46 seconds was the gap at the intermediate point. Van Aert doesn't look like he has changed tempo at all, so it's just a matter of, has Kevin Pauwels got anything left in the tank? He's going to come through. The gap is going to be round about the same. He's clawed back a few seconds, 3 seconds, but he needs something to happen to Van Aert if he's going to take the win. Pauwels will be taking over, though, the leader's jersey with 2 second places if it carries on in this way. But Van der Poel is no means safe in third because he's getting chased down now. Klaas van Turnhout and Tom Muysen are in there, but so too are the chasers behind as well. Peters is in there. Adams is in there. And then the 2 Dutchmen, Van Kessel and his teammate Bart Vellen. So 1 Dutchman, 1 Belgian from that team. Oh, looked like a bit of a bad reaction there from Julien Taramaka to something in the crowd. Sven Nys in 13th place. Not quite sure what happened there between Julien Taramaka and somebody in the crowd. Warm applause, though. For Wout van Aert as he's heading towards main World Cup win. And not a bad win for if you're from Belgium. There's not many better places to win than here in Koksijde. Pauwels still powering away there in second place, but Van Aert has come through the split point. I'll be giving you the update very shortly as to the gap. It was 43 seconds. Oh, it's going to be more than that because Pauwels has a bit of a nightmare there in the sand. And any chance he had of reeling in, Wout van Aert has just gone straight out of the window, I think. But they are now queuing up behind. Can Mathieu van der Poel hang on? This is going to be a matter of survival for Mathieu van der Poel. He's like a wounded antelope, and here come the jackals behind him to try and catch him up. Headed out by Klaas van Turnhout. Any one of these riders could still make it onto the podium, I think. Mathieu van der Poel is going to have the ride of the day to hold on now. 49 seconds is the gap between Van Aert and Pauwels. I can't see anything stopping Van Aert now other than a catastrophic mechanical. He's got this lined up. Van der Poel 105. It's 12 seconds back then to the chasers. And in that group, you can see 2 of the Vast Good Service Golden Palace team. Telnat Fadea have got riders in there as well. Valsleven's trying to come across that gap, as too is Sveek. I think Sveek is a spent force now for Corendon Quadro. The crowd's starting to realise, I think, that Wout van Aert is riding towards the victory here. Pauwels managed to recover from that problem. Back on the tempo. I think the wind's gone, but now it's just securing second place and the leader's jersey in the 2014-15 UCI Cyclo-Cross World Cup. Van der Poel just holding that gap over the chasers. He's going to deserve this third place if he can hang on for it. Tried to go with Van Aert, tried to animate the race. In the end, couldn't quite stay with Van Aert. And got overhauled by Pauwels. Wout van Aert celebrating with his mechanics there. Little punch of the fist as he's coming down towards the finish. Just a few corners now for Wout van Aert. Pauwels starting to find it a little bit of heavy going, I think, through the sand. Up the ramp. This is where Sanne Cant launched her final attack. No need for anything like that from Wout van Aert. It's virtually a lap of honour for him here at Koksijde. This is the battle, the 4th place. And can they catch up with Mathieu van der Poel? I think Van der Poel's going to hang on. And personally, I hope he does. I think he's going to deserve this 3rd place from the efforts that he's put in here. The youngster, remember, he is only 19, Mathieu van der Poel. So a first-year under-23 rider, mixing it with some of the biggest names in senior cyclocross. But this man, the under-23 world champion, is going to take the senior win here. Remember, no under-23 World Cup here at Koksijde. He's going to take the top spot. Didn't race in the senior race, of course, at Valkenburg, so won't be donning the leader's jersey. But the winner of round 2 of the UCI Cyclo-Cross World Cup here in Koksijde, riding for the Vascud Service Golden Palace team from Belgium, Wout van Aert takes the win on home turf. It's double win here in Belgium for the home riders. Wout van Aert matches the achievement of Sanne Cant to take a home World Cup win. 2nd place here in the UCI Cyclo-Cross World Cup round 2, brought to you by Shimano and Beko, is going to be to Kevin Pauwels, so his second place of the series. This is going to put him into the leader's jersey. Remember, the World Cup leader and round 1 winner, Lars van der Haar, not racing because of a fever. So Pauwels will be the new World Cup leader as we head towards round 3 in Milton Keynes. And well done to Mathieu van der Poel. He's going to hang on for 3rd place, and that is well deserved for the youngster from the Netherlands. He takes 3rd place. 4th place goes to Tom Muysen. 5th place goes to Klaas van Turnhout. 6th to Jens Adams, 7th to Corne van Kessel, 8th to Phil Valsleben, 9th to Rob Peters, 10th place to Bart Wellens, 11th place to Lawrence Sveek. A good ride from him as well, another one of the youngsters. He's going to come in just ahead of his teammate Julian Taramaka. So the Swiss rider takes 12th. 13th place will go to two Nats of Telnat Fedea. And Sven Nys just going to hang on here, I think, ahead of the sprint, or is he? I don't know if he's gonna get overhauled here, I think, on the line. He's not sprinting for it. Niels Verben takes 14th. Nys, 15th place with Ernuts. Jim Ernuts, that is, and 17th place for Jeremy Powers, the US champion. Well, the women's race was great. The men's race slightly different, not quite the nip and tuck of the women's race. More a masterclass from this young man. Remember, he's the under-23 world champion, and he adds his name to an amazing list of winners here in Koksijde. Not a bad club to have joined there Wout van Aert is the winner of round 2 of the UCI Cyclo-Cross World Cup. Here's the unofficial result then. Van Aert with the win, 42 seconds ahead of Pauwels and Van der Poel, Muysen, Van Toornat, Adams, Van Kessel, Valsleben, Peters and Valens. Sveek, Taramaka, Ertz, Verben, Nice, Ernst. Then came Powers, Van Toornat, Ernst, Bart Ernst and Gianni Vermeersch. Plenty of Belgian riders there. I think all but one in the top 20 possibly. And the fans have enjoyed it. They're sprinting in, I can tell you, for the positions. We knew though, right from the start, the youngsters were really up for this. The under-23 riders were well placed. Sveek was an early leader. But Van Aert was always up there with him. Took the Van der Poel brothers and Sveek away with him. And then it was a matter of who could stay in contention. And the answer was Mathieu van der Poel. He was the only one that could stay with the pace of Wout van Aert. Sven Nys wanted the others to chase, to try and catch the two youngsters. Through the sand, Van Aert was just so smooth and he just kept opening up a bigger and bigger gap over Van der Poel through the dunes. Nys with lots of little problems, little crash, just as he seemed to be picking up pace. Had to change his bike and it threw him right back into the mix. And then Kevin Pauwels broke clear from the chasing pack to close in. Van Aert never really looked in any trouble. But Pauwels stayed calm, overhauled Mathieu van der Poel to move up to second place. But he had such a big buffer, did Wout van Aert, had a chance to celebrate with his pit crew and really milked the applause of the crowd as he came in to add his name to a long list of Belgian champions here in Koksijde. Took the win comfortably from Kevin Pauwels, and Mathieu van der Poel deservedly hanging on there for third place. So the big crowd's heading back. Here's the standings then. Kevin Pauwels has moved up to the head of the standings. Muysen second, Klaas van Toornat in third, equal points, but Muysen with a better finish today. Conor van Kessel also up there in contention in fourth place. Adams up to fifth, Valsleben in sixth, and you see Lars van der Haar, the winner of the race at round 1, down to ninth place alongside Wout van Aert and Thies van Amerongen on 80 points.
Met uiteindelijk ook de Belgische winnaars, met uiteindelijk ook Sanne Kans, die de wereldbeker won bij de dameselite.
So hope you've enjoyed the action from Koksijde. Remember, round 3 of the UCI Cyclo-Cross World Cup is next week, and we're going to hear from the winner of round 2 very shortly.
Santa Morit! Oké. Hey, Santa Morit! Moet hij nu zijn, hè? Je is bezig.
Helemaal juist. Wout van Aert, many congratulations with your victory. What a demonstration.
Yeah, I didn't thought before the race it was possible to go full gas so far from the finish line, but yeah, I managed to go half race alone, and then yeah, it was incredible to be in front the last lap with all the crowd was going crazy, and yeah, I'm so happy.
What does this mean for you after that big victory at the Koppenberg, now this one?
Yeah, I think these are two big races in Belgium to win, and when you can choose before the season which races you want to win, I think Koksijde and the Koppenberg are two races every rider wants to have on his palmarès, and for me, I have them now in my first year as a pro, and it's also special because this is a really special race for my team leader Niels Albert. He took his rainbow jersey here, and before the race he asked me to do something special, and this victory is for him.
Ja, je hebt daarnet in het Engels gezegd, dit is een overwinning ook voor Niels Albert, een ploegleider die hier wereldkampioen werd. Hè. Zat je echt met hem in gedachten?
Ja, toch wel. Vanaf de laatste rondes begon ik een beetje na te denken. Ik wou het op een speciale manier laten zien dat het voor hem was. En, ik dacht, het kwam ineens in mij op dat Niels vorig jaar vierde zoals Paul Reigers vroeger. En, Paul is dan ook nog iemand van bij ons in hetzelfde dorp als waar ik nu woon en geboren ben. En die twee dingen maken er wel een mooi idee van om dit hetzelfde te doen. En, het is misschien niet origineel, maar ik vond het fantastisch om zo over hem mee te komen.
En Paul die werd wereldkampioen in het jaar dat jij geboren bent. Dat zegt veel over de wissel van de wacht. Hè? Dat jij piepjong bent en nu aan absolute top staat.
Ja, ik ben zelfs van september, dus ik was er nog niet. En tijden gaan snel, denk ik. En om op mijn 20 jaar hier al te winnen. Ik heb hier altijd al met een fijn gevoel rondgereden. Ik werd hier al tweede op het WK bij de juniors. En ik kom altijd heel graag terug naar hier. En dat zal nu niet op beteren, denk ik.
Okay, jij moet nu naar het podium, geniet ervan en straks praten we nog voor. Dankjewel, Wout van Aert.
Well, quite a nice touch for Niels Albert, who had to retire because of that heart problem. A man who won the world title here and received his rainbow jersey from King Albert of Belgium. So it was a lovely bit of symmetry for the new Belgian hero to get the win here in honour of a previous Belgian hero. It's going to be a second appearance on the World Cup podium this season for Kevin Pauwels of the Sunweb Napoleon Games cycling team. And although I think he'd probably rather have one win rather than 2 seconds, it does mean as we go to round 3 of the UCI Cyclo-Cross World Cup in Milton Keynes, he will be going there as the leader of the UCI World Cup with the white jersey. So it's time for the protocol ceremony. Big crowd already starting to fill up in front of the podium to welcome the riders. And I think this is possibly the biggest moment so far of Van Aert's short pro career. Yes, he is the under-23 world champion, but to win the senior World Cup race on home territory when there is such a heritage, when you look at the winner's roll, he is in great company. Mathieu van der Poel, though, the youngster, just 19 years of age, showed great courage to hold on for third place. Very nearly got caught, but held on to the third spot. Second place to Kevin Pauwels, big cheer for him. His second place of the World Cup so far. And he's got a big support here, of course. But Koksijde, I think, is going to go crazy now for the Vascoud service. Golden Palace rider Wout van Aert. The winner here in Koksijde, his maiden Senior World Cup win. Wout van Aert then with the win, and in honour of him we'll hear the Belgian national anthem.
En mogen wij nu uw aandacht vragen voor het nationale hymne. voor Wout van Aert, Kevin Powers, Mathieu van der Poel. Het prachtige podium van deze Cyclo-Cross.
So that is your race podium then from round 2 of the UCI Cyclo-Cross World Cup. Brought to you by Shimano and Beko from here in the sand dunes of Koksijde. The photos with the dignitaries, all important. Pauls, Van der Poel, and of course race winner Van Aert taking the applause of the crowd. And I think we might just see the award of the leader's jersey. This is the man, if you're going to be at Milton Keynes for the first ever World Cup in Great Britain, or you're going to be joining us once again on the live broadcast. I was going to say he's the man to look out for, but you'll be able to spot him in the leader's jersey. There we are. Kevin Powles takes over the lead of the UCI Cyclo-Cross World Cup. Well, hope you've enjoyed our coverage, our live coverage here in Koksijde. I've been Dan Jarvis bringing you all of the action here in Belgian sand dunes. Next week, we go to the land of the concrete cow as Milton Keynes welcomes the first ever Cyclo-Cross World Cup to the shores of Great Britain. Thanks for joining us and enjoy your weekend.